a wonderful day. Hopefully this program can be replicated across the country, bringing people together to learn about these very important issues. All the things we heard about today in terms of preparing, making sure that we have a plot. I think it's, as a rabbi now for 20 years, and my parents have been in Orange County for close to 40 years, I can just tell you personally that having those preparations done in advance, in my humble opinion, saves your family a lot of drama down the road. And unnecessary, there's already enough pain and suffering. The fact that your loved ones know that that you have a place and the arrangements have been made, it saves a lot of unnecessary, so to say, chores down the road. So, and also I've heard that having a plot that gives you, it's a bracha for arichas yomim. It's a blessing for long life. Hopefully you don't need it. You buy the plot and you don't need it for a long time. So there's been a lot of talk here about this. We've heard this word Mashiach a few times this morning. So I wanted to share with you a little story for a moment. A few weeks ago we commemorated the 31st anniversary, the passing of Lubavitch Rebbe. And so I live in Orange County. I run a Chabad house in Tustin, beautiful Orange County. I grew up there. And I decided, I did this last year, the previous year as well, is that I will try to spend the whole day in the car knocking on doors, putting on tefillin with people. What better way to honor the Rebbe's legacy by getting in the car and doing mitzvahs with people. So I put out an email about 7 in the morning, and today's the 31st yard site. The goal was to try to get 31 tefillins. And about 10 in the morning, I got in the car, driving around. I didn't get anywhere near 31, don't worry. Because, me, like a good rabbi, I go to your house and we start schmoozing. But we Baruch Hashem, we put on film with a number of people. About 5 o'clock, my wife and I were invited to a gentleman's, he was making a 60th birthday party. He was a very lovely person. He's the benefactor behind the building of our new synagogue in Orange County. Incredible, very menschlich person. And I pull up to his house, get out of the car, I walk into he has this party there, and after he says Shalom Aleichem to me, he looks at me and says, Shui, where's your tefillin? And, the truth of the matter is I was thinking about it, should I go into this guy's party? It's not my party, it's his birthday. And I left it, but he wanted to know, why do you bring the tefillin? A few days later, I came across, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these videos, if they show them here, the videos from GEM.
Yeah, every Saturday night.
Oh, so maybe you saw the video already. It's from Jewish Educational Media. These are conversations, videos of the Rebbe, and different conversations with people that had interactions with the Rebbe over the years. And one was a gentleman called, I never met him before. His name is Rabbi Eckhaus. We saw this video, and he looks to me like he's in his mid-70s, and he describes a trip that he took as a student. I think at the age of 19, the Lubavitch movement would send young students until today throughout the whole world. I had one of the hardest places that I was sent to. Nobody should ever be sent there. South of Spain. 5 weeks. It was very difficult. You should never know such a thing. Marbella, Malaga, Torremolinos, the whole Mallorca. If you want to go on a nice vacation there, it's a great Jewish community. We spent 5 weeks going from Barcelona all the way down to Gibraltar when I was about 19, 20 years old. And so this guy with a partner, they were sent to Scranton, Pennsylvania. He goes to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he's visiting the families there. It's like 1969. And he describes, after he comes back, he writes a report to the Rebbe, and in that report, he describes his interactions. One of his interactions was as follows. He says that he gets to this guy's store, a furniture store. This guy's this large, successful furniture store, nice Jewish gentleman. He spends an hour speaking to this guy about Yiddishkeit, about Judaism, and he explains to him the importance of putting on tefillin. Finally, after an hour, the gentleman decides, okay, you know what, I'm going to agree, I'm going to put on the film with you. As they walk to the end of this big, beautiful furniture store, they get to this guy's office. By the time they get to the guy's office, what happens? The guy says, listen, kid, sorry, I'm not interested in putting on tefillin. Thank you, but no thank you. So he writes this in his report, and then he writes something to me which is fascinating. He writes to the Rebbe as follows. He says, it seems to me, and I'm trying to quote word for word, but not exactly. He says, he writes to the Rebbe this, this Rabbi Eckhouse, he says, it seems to me like the Rebbe is trying to bring Mashiach. He says, it seems to me like the Rebbe is trying to bring Mashiach. And he describes this whole story that happened. He says, I don't exactly understand how this is going to play out. If I just spend an hour with one gentleman, and he wasn't willing to put on film. And the Rebbe goes and answers this young rabbinical student. And he describes to him the influence of every single mitzvah you do in this world. And how, if you inspire one person, you never know, even one little thing, just you being there in town, you don't even know how you can inspire people to grow in their Judaism. And the Rebbe gives him a series of answers, and the Rebbe, of course, brings the Rambam at the end that says that any single mitzvah can turn the world and can bring about the coming Mashiach. To me, it was a very beautiful story, life lesson about what our job is. So let me just say a little bit myself for 30 seconds. We'll make it short. I have my good friend, Dr. Butner, my study partner, my psychiatrist. Every Friday morning we learned together for many years. He just told me this morning, and we know each other now for?
Actually 18 years.
18 years. So I grew up in Orange County. My parents have a beautiful community in Yorba Linda, and came back to open a Chabad house about 20 years ago, 2005 roughly. And you know what happened a few years after 2005? You remember what happened in 2008? We had a very exciting time, for those of you who remember. We had the crash of 2008, and here I am. We had just started, Chabad house, like many of us. We got started in the house, and when we go to the storefront, and just after 2-3 years, the economy crashes. And it was, financially, it was very challenging. And at the same time, I'll be very honest, I saw at the same time, there's a lot of my parents, supporters, many years, long-time supporters of the shul. They built a beautiful 2-acre campus, a 12,000 square foot shul with a beautiful place. And they passed away. And their support was after that, it wasn't there anymore. It all happened at the same time. And so, to make a very long story short, is that we were introduced to some people that had started working on legacy giving. And there was a lawyer in town, there was we have one of our families by my parents that are very involved in the community, are very involved with JNF. They're big supporters of Jewish National Fund. And they were very instrumental in working with the Jewish National Fund, working on legacy giving in Orange County. And they encouraged us to start working on legacy giving because they realized, they saw that this will help secure the future for generations to come. So that was that. I started working on myself. I started having conversations with people in the community. And the conversation was pretty simple. Look what we've done together. Look what you guys have accomplished here. And imagine if we had the resources to take this to a whole nother level. And what I found is that people were very open to this idea. Of course, they want to take care of their family, and they should take care of their family. That is their first and foremost important thing to do. And there's a lot of worthy causes, as I've learned in the last 10 years working on this. And you should listen to other worthy causes. But the conversation that I had that we've been having for the last 10 years with our community, and it's seen very beautiful fruits from that, and we'll see in the years to come, is this idea of leaving a Jewish legacy. And, I was just thinking this morning, you have a kid who has their daughter learning here in the preschool, in your community, who's a bracha learner. She's coming here every day to drop her kid off. And this is what's so special. You never know where it's going to go. And so I never knew it was going to go this way, but Baruch Hashem, thank God, one thing led to the next. And I've been working with the shluchim all over the country, all over the world. Larry's been one of the people that's really helped me develop we've developed the marketing that you see here. And the beauty is that instead of every Chabad rabbi having to come up with the marketing, what we've been able to do is put together the marketing once, and then everybody was able to have it all over the world. And most importantly, that's what it's about. It's about securing and ensuring a strong Jewish future by considering whatever works for you, to leave a small percentage of your state to your local Chabad center.
Absolutely.
And I think it's an incredible opportunity that in years to come, we speak about this idea of, you make the proper arrangements, so you have a proper kvura, and you make sure your children know that you have a proper place to be buried with the Chava Kadisha, but they also know what you hold dear to you. And this has been something we've been working on for 10 years. It's been a blessing. I've got to meet a lot of wonderful people, and it's been something that I think our community has been open to, and that is something that we wanted to share with you today. I want to introduce you for one moment my good friend. He's my study partner many years. He is a very well-regarded child psychiatrist in Orange County. His name is Dr. Larry Budner, and he's our, what are we going to say? We study every Friday morning. We study Shabbos morning. He's a pillar of the community, and he's been so supportive. We're Baruch Hashem, day by day, month by month, building a beautiful Jewish community in Orange County. And he's also been very helpful when it comes to this project we call it Chabad Tomorrow. So Dr. Budner.
Thank you.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how much I believe in Chabad and their mission. And I just want a couple of things. One is that there's a lot of people out there that are like me. My great-grandfather in the Pale of Settlement, I just found out this morning, my brother is visiting from New Jersey, he actually studied in the yeshiva. But like a lot of people, the story in the family goes that as soon as he got off the boat in New York City, he decided, we're done with traditional observance. We're in a new land, we don't have to do this. And so the whole, I was raised very reform. I was raised in a reform temple where we did not wear kippahs or talis, because it was, in the United States, they said, well, we take off our hat as a sign of respect. And nobody was really interested. There weren't people who read Hebrew, there weren't people who learned. It just didn't exist in my growing up. And so I drifted away from it. But I had sort of a spark. And after college and medical school, I decided, well, I went to medical. I know how to study stuff. So I got Hebrew textbook, I learned how to learn. And then after a while, I really wanted a community. So I went online. They have a Chabad in Tustin now? Yeah, so I went. And much to my surprise, so I met Shuey, I went to him, and I told him, I said, look, I know how to learn. He said, I'll come to your office. Really? Yeah. So he said, okay, so every Friday for 18 years now, he's been coming to my office, and we schmooze, and we learn Tanya, we learn about Maimarim, we learn all sorts of different things. It's been fantastic. But the point I want to make is that what you do with your money and your estate is very much connected with your spirituality. And the more that I find that I share with Chabad, what I have, the more it really becomes an extended family in ways that it's really hard to understand. I really support, I think people, if you really want to feel a part of it, I think monthly giving is really important. And I think the Yerusha that Shuey put together is very, very important. And I can share with you a couple of psychological things. That's I'm a psychiatrist, that's what we do. Very famous psychiatrist, Erik Erikson, wrote about adult development. Used to think 100 years ago that you became an adult and then development stops. Clearly it doesn't. But there's a couple of things that happen that I think are relevant to us. One is sort of middle age to late middle age. The way Erikson talked about it, he said that the issue you have to resolve is what he called generativity versus stagnation. You get older, you get into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and your kids are raised out of the house. What are you going to do? Either, most people, you find a way of investing in the future of your community, and that keeps things from getting stagnant. And that's another reason why investing in your local community, your Chabad community, hopefully, is really, I think, a great thing psychologically for you. It keeps you young, and to see that there are kids, or that the shul is growing, and that you're a part of this, really is very psychologically healthy. That towards the end of life, what Erickson talked about is you have to have the feeling that your life meant something. He called it integrity versus despair. That you want to be able to look at the end of your life, back on your life, and feel like it actually, there's some unifying themes. That it was actually leading to something, and it actually meant something. I mean, we're all just tiny bits of it, but that our little bit actually meant something, and that if you don't have that feeling at the end of your life, that your life actually meant something, there's a kind of very painful despair that people go through. And I think that another reason why it's very important to have a community that you invest in is that at the end of the life, I think it can give you a tremendous satisfaction. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. Thanks for having us.
Rabbi Enoch, if I can ask you to come up here, please. So I really want to thank Rabbi Shui and Larry for coming out here. I know that they have a partnership in this regard. One of the things that Rabbi Shui mentioned to me once is that the most interesting thing about legacy giving is that most people have the ability to give much more posthumously than they have during their lifetime. In other words, even if you only give a small percentage as a legacy gift, it's often much more that they can give while they're paying expenses during their lifetime, particularly because it comes from the estate, it comes from the house, etc. I wanted to just call Rabbi Enoch. I know there are some of you that look around here at Chabad Pasadena and you feel like, oh my gosh, this man came here with his wife 30 years ago with a vision, and look how the vision has come to reality, and look how that dream has finally flourished, and look at it, it's finally here, and it's a reality, and now he can go, where's your retirement home again? It's in the Maldives. He has a few of them, there's one in Maldives, etc. But I can tell you from personal experience, I've known this man only a short 10 years, and some of you have known him for longer, I can tell you that this actually is not even a tiny percentage of the dream that the Rebbe, and by extension the Rebbe Shluchim, had for the city of Pasadena. As many of you know, because you come here all the time, this facility, the physical facility, never mind the amount of staff that we have, which is also, it's being a strain on that as well, but we're just shmata, so that doesn't really count. But the physical facility is beginning to burst at the seams. The amount of times that we spend, for example, an extra $300 just to have staff transforming the room over and over again every hour, every 2 hours. Sometimes you've been here for that, like on Purim or even on a regular Sunday. Sometimes it'll be Hebrew school, so you have 20, 30 kids coming for Hebrew school, and then the GAN, and every single day we have the preschool going on at the back, and all the wonderful programs that there are, and JLI is slowly filling the entire room every time we have a course, and davening, can often fill the entire shul, and then we have to transform the shul for the kiddush, etc. The building itself is literally becoming too small. Never mind the fact that there are future projects, some which are being launched this year, and new projects that will skyrocket this what we're doing here, that will really make the facility and the staff and everything here be way, way too small, which is a good thing. Now, the next step is a minimum of what? A $15 million project?
Next step is my retirement.
Next step is retirement, which is really more than $15 million. There's nothing we can possibly get into the retirement. But why don't you talk about that a little bit?
So thank you, Rabbi Zushi, for my next step. Whatever I don't plan for me, he plans for me, so it's fine.
Palm Springs.
What you said is absolutely true and more. So the good news is, yes, we are grown out, I should say, of our current facility. We may do, albeit with difficulty at times. I walk in, I want to have a meeting with somebody, I don't have a room to sit in, okay, literally.
There's kids
And
here,
I also
adults
get to pay
there.
the bills here periodically, and I have no place to sit. Every room, every office, I can walk around the parking lot. Listen, it's a good problem to have, Baruch Hashem. But with that in mind, we need to expand. There's no question about it. The question is what we're going to do, where we're going to go. My dream would be, honestly, to buy that restaurant adjacent to us. It's not for sale yet, but it will be when we're ready to buy. They will know. And to demo the restaurant, I think I would put like underground parking and a nice 3-story building. There's a beautiful social hall and shul and classrooms. And honestly, because thank God we have a thriving preschool gone for the kids, parents of those children want to know why don't we have a Jewish day school for the kids? Sadly, the one in Pasadena closed. It used to be one in Weitzman. There is no Jewish day school for kids here, which is sad. And it's the parents now. And you're right. I said we do need it, and we need to open. We will open one up. I'm not sure where, but somewhere or another it's going to have to happen. Ideally, if it could be somewhere contiguous with this property, it'd be great. Another option is literally to demo this building and just go up, which I'd rather not do because it would totally disrupt everything going on here for a good few years, I'd say. We have to rent the place. There's various options being, unless you know of a particular property, you know, that's willing to either donate it to Chabad, we'll be happy to work with you, or at the very least, something we can sell. And where we're gonna do it, I'm not sure, but the point that matters, it needs to be done. It is a large number. I mean, realistically, buying property, basically the size of ours, which is more or less what that restaurant is, and building, it's probably somewhere between a $15, $20 million project. The property alone, this property alone is worth like $5 million. That's about the same size, just the dirt. They don't factor in the building. And then obviously everything goes with it. So, listen, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't necessarily happen with one person. It could, but it hasn't yet. But ultimately, in terms of people leaving a legacy to Chabad, one doesn't have to wait until they die, by the way, because then you can enjoy the fruits of your labor and see it yourself. If that doesn't float someone's boat, at the very least, leaving a legacy of whatever it may be, a portion of or what have you, towards this. This is largely where those funds will go towards. Developing more programs. With God's help, this forthcoming year, a new project we're going to be starting is a Friendship Circle, which is a whole group that's geared to kids with special needs, well, people with special needs, kids in particular, which is also going to require more space that I don't have yet, but why should that stop anything, you know what I mean?
And more staff.
And more staff, yeah. But now, Baruch Hashem, Chabad is growing exponentially, and there's a large thank you from Rabbi Zisha and Gitti and Rabbi Label and all the younger people who have better ideas than the old people, and the like. But we are growing, and we will continue growing. And in terms of my retirement plan, I can talk to you about that later. I mean, we have a yacht that's parked off Monaco. I don't use it that often.
So to talk very practical for just a moment, so each of you has in front of you a brochure that kind of goes through this idea. It's called Your Moment, Your Legacy, Your Chabad. As you know, Rabbi Anoka and all of us by extension, we don't operate this place as we have a Chabad house and everybody's, the kindest of our hearts, everybody else gets to attend. That's not how we operate here. It's our Chabad, and to a large degree, your Chabad even more than it is ours. And it talks a little bit about it here and a little bit about the vision that Chabad of Pasadena has for the future. And I'd like to make you aware of something called the Jewish Legacy Society. So the Jewish Legacy Society is essentially a group of people that commit during their lifetime, ideally to even let others know. I know that that's not something everybody's comfortable with, but if you let others know, the rabbis or the community, and the Talmud tells us mitzvah, the Pharisee most mitzvah, that it's a mitzvah to tell other people, but in fact if you do a mitzvah because it actually creates a ripple effect. When someone sees someone, oh, this person is in the legacy of the Chabad, I would like to as well. And in this way, our generation can be there for the next generation, which can be there for the next generation, until the coming of Mashiach, maybe it's really in our days. I would like to formally pitch on our behalf to every single one of you. This doesn't happen by filling out a form. You can set up a meeting with one of us, and we'll be happy to walk you through the details, what can be done about it. Maybe you use Phil Reitman as your estate planner, then we can all meet together, or whoever your estate attorney is, and we can make it happen. We're available for meetings, or phone calls, or if you just want to let us know, that also works. You tell us, Rabbi, we took care of you guys, we left something for the future, and I want to be part of that. I want to hold hands across the generation. So with this, we're going to conclude. If you have any questions, go ahead.
One of the things, only I wasn't going to mention, someone asked, it's not a sales pitch, but they're wondering what does it cost to run Chabad?
Oh.
Here, our Chabad. And I don't know if anybody has...
On a daily basis, on an annual
basis. I told the Chabad, the monthly running costs of this shul is north of $100,000 a month.
And I want to add, that's just today. In a year from now, trust me, it'll go up because there'll be more programs, there'll be more things going, which is a good thing.
Well, let's turn off some of the lights.
We don't need air conditioning, we need food. Get the rabbis out. Anyway, on a serious note, it's not, we're not throwing money out, what have you, but that's what it costs between salaries and everything else and running whatever it is. And with great thanks to those who helped to support Chabad. It doesn't happen in a vacuum, and I'm well aware of that. Some are bigger supporters, some are lesser. People do whatever they can, but that's to answer the question collectively, since it was asked. That's what our last year's budget, I think, was 1.3. I just didn't have to do a financial statement. It was 1.3 something million. I don't know exactly what it was. Something like 100 and change money. Change could be like 5,000, 10,000, change. Anyway, so I hope you will consider all the aforementioned. I want to thank all the presenters. I'd mostly like to thank Rabbi Tishi for putting this together. It was his brainchild. I'm just here for the ride and breakfast. But big yashikov to everybody and a blessing to everybody. Should live to at least 120.
Then we'll reassess. All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.